most powerful man in the state because he'd been there 27 years. So those are some groups that I'm involved with, that one. And, of course, I got my own political Woodstock. I like to document. And I think there's a lot of power in documentation. If you're listening and you have a camera and you want to start using it, please do. Go to your city council or alderman or, just regular events when they're in public.
Yeah, we have a lady here that does quite a bit of that. Actually, we have two of them, Jenny Warburg, who written for everybody from our local paper, The Independent, to the New York Times, and she does a lot of still photography documentation. And we also have Katina Parker, who is a documentarian filmmaker, and Rodrigo Dorfman.
That's great.
So all three of them are definitely, and they're just three of those that have come to my mind, but there are others as well. So we are definitely having things documented on a regular basis. So that is very much of a positive thing. I was wondering, are you having any luck? Because I know that in parts of Oklahoma there is also an active, not just African-American community, but an active Native American community. So I was wondering how they are doing in terms of being mobilized and things of that nature, because I do know that in the past there was an active community. Now, whether it's still active in Oklahoma, that I don't know.
Well, the AIM movement is still here. In the Democratic Party, they're having some Native American women caucuses occurring, and that's a good development. We have the Diamond Pipeline, I don't know if you've heard about that, and we're actually getting success. There's a lot of money being pulled out because they do not want to face the protests, like what was done in, was it South Dakota or North Dakota?
Yes, South Dakota, I believe, with the pipeline.
So that is really good, that they're pulling out even before the fight starts. And it's a difficult state to live in. We're 50th in the nation for education, 49th in health of women, but we're second in the nation for teenage pregnancy. And this is what kills me. We're first in the nation, used to be the world also, for female incarceration. We're also second in the nation for male incarceration. We have a problem. We have a big problem.
Y'all are first in the nation for the amount of females that are incarcerated. Now, what kind of charges are these that they're mostly being charged?
A lot of them are drug problems, drug issues, or maybe their husband got in trouble, then they get in trouble too. Husband goes to jail, so do they. It's just messed up. The Bronx Defenders have camped out in Tulsa because we are the worst of the worst. There's a lot of racial profiling that happens. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. That happens. I've seen it happen. We'll stake out the DUI checkpoints, and they treat people differently by the shade of their skin, if you know what I'm saying.
Right.
And we get it on video. We get on a video, and the attorneys will call us. That when the person gets an attorney, they call us because they know we take video of those checkpoints. But it's difficult. The Native American people. My daughter is Katuah Cherokee. We have a lot of different tribes here in Oklahoma. But I'm seeing some better responses now, especially with the Diamond Pipeline. That's really woke a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely folks have to stay awake and stay in tune with what's going on, not just in their neighborhood, but in like-minded communities and just around the world as well. I had another question for you. Oh, you were talking about the education, because when I think of bad education, I usually think of places like Mississippi and
Mississippi. They can say, thank God for Oklahoma. We are the absolute last. Actually, we're 57th if you can include the territories. We are absolute last.
At the absolute bottom and everything.
Yes, the teachers have even taken to panhandling so they can get supplies for the kids. We have seen teachers out on the street corners saying, please help me get supplies. It's that bad. That's not a joke. It's not a joke.
Right. That's not a joke at all. That you have to be resulting to the teachers going there and doing things of that nature. Now, was this one of the states, and if so, did he manage to get that predominant white vote that actually Trump managed to carry into his wing, or was this a state
he loves Oklahoma. Every single district voted for Trump. And we only have 3 Democratic counties out of 78. It's tough here if you're a Democrat like myself, but we're starting to get some state seats. We got one that was 80% Republican. We switched it to Democrat. People are starting to wake because it's difficult to live in Oklahoma. If you're a woman, if you're a working person, if you're a person of color, it's hard.
Wow. So what was the reasons when you gone out and done some of your activism work that folks were given for wanting to vote for somebody that has seemed to have been so much more reactionary than some of our past presidents have been? So was it just because they felt that they had lost so much during the Obama administration, or was it?
Well, there seems to be this hypnotic hold that the Republican Party has on Oklahoma. For the three last presidential elections, every single district voted for the Republican candidate. Not one district voted for Obama. Not one. And this has been 3 presidential elections running that they voted for the Republican Party. Scott, the guy who's over the climate, what's the word? He's from Oklahoma. The guy who's over NASA now, he's a Jim. These are all very far-right people, extremely far-right people. The Scott Pruitt guy, he believes in that God created. He really believes in the, what do you call it? It's not evolution. It's the, I'm sorry, I had to take some medicine.
Creationism?
Yes, he's a creationist. And he's over the climate and just
so this is
EPA. EPA.
That's what you say. So we're talking about the person that's in charge of the EPA is the one that believes in creationism and really does not, from what I understand.
Oh, and he even sued the EPA when he was in Oklahoma. He sued the EPA, and now he's in control of it. I mean, it's just no. I have no words. All I know is to get people registered to vote and get them in the habit of voting. That's important, and absentee voting is most important because that's how you can win elections. That's what a lot of Republicans do, absentee voting.
Right. It's much easier to do it by absentee. I vote that way in all elections. You don't have to worry about having ID. You don't have to worry about going to the poll and they not being able to find your name. You don't have to wait in long lines. You get your ballot almost 2 months before the election, so you're able to vote, put a stamp on it, send it back to the Board of Elections, and that's it. And it makes it so much easier.
Well, I don't need to monopolize. Sometimes words just. I'm tired, I guess. I didn't mean to monopolize your show. I feel like I am.
No, you're not monopolizing it at all. We definitely appreciate your calls, and like I said, we're expecting a couple other folks to call in as well. One of the things I'm just curious about, and I don't always ask this question, but I meant to ask it of the South Dakota person, but how did you hear about our show?
Well, I'm tired today, so I'm not at the courthouse. I'm not documenting. But I can't seem to just stay away. And so I looked on Blog Talk Radio to see if anybody was talking about activism, getting out there and doing things. And I saw your show, and it sounded really good. So I called in. So that's how I found you.
Well,
but I do have one thing. Have you guys watched the documentary called Vaxxed, VAXXED?
No.
What? No, I have not. What is it about?
Well, Vaxxed is on Amazon right now, Amazon Prime, where it's like Netflix. It's about the CDC whistleblower, Dr. William Thompson. I used to be an insider. I had worked with Dr. Hooker. And it's the MMR vaccine that's the most problematic, especially for African-American toddlers, male toddlers, 36 months of age and younger. I think we even got Tony Muhammad from the Nation of Islam to help us, and he showed it to their entire, I don't know if it was a convention, it was a big gathering that they have every so often. So there was a big to-do about that, and I was the more education we get out there, this is worse than Tuskegee. If you knew how bad Tuskegee experiment was, this is worse.
Yes.
So.
This is going to work. One other question I was going to ask you real quick, and then I said I just got a text from Solomon, so hopefully you can call me in as well, was you said that it was difficult on one level because, of course, on the national level, you've had these Republicans
shootings
in all the time. How has it been on the state and the local level? Has there been any breakdown in the progressive front on either the state or the local level that you've been able to see at least some sort of victory in Tulsa?
I'm sorry. Our state made a record for the largest number of anti-LGBTQAI bills to be pushed through. None of them made it. We defeated each and every one, and there was over 30 of them. There's not a lot of progress right now, other than, I will say, our mayor, love our mayor, G.T. Bynum, he just presented a plan for a Tulsa City jail where it's just 30 beds, no one stays past longer than 10 days. Like if you get arrested and you need to see the judge right away, so they don't have to wait 5 months or 6 months, which is the current wait right now. It's so backlogged. But if the city controls the jail, then it'll be much faster, and I'm very excited about that. Yeah, people can keep their jobs now.
Yeah, that sounds like a very progressive move by the city of Tulsa and your mayor. So that's very good.
I'm very pleased with that. So.
And if folks wanted to get involved with some of the organizations that you're involved with, do any of these organizations, or if they just want to get in touch with you to learn more about them, is there any organizational websites?
Well, mine's more documentary right now. Political Woodstock. I have a YouTube channel. It's called Political Woodstock. I have a Facebook page called Political Woodstock. And then We the People Oklahoma. I think it's .org. We the People Oklahoma.org, and you can find out more information about Mark Lewis. That's M-A-R-Q Lewis. Mark Lewis. He was Man of the Year for Tulsa Citizen of the Year. Then he was the Oklahoman of the Year, and he came from your neck of the woods. He's an incredible person, has strong organization skills, and I mean, that's what I would say. Yeah. Oh, also, I have been involved with the Black Wall Street Times. It's an online newspaper. It's brand new. Nehemiah Frank is the CEO and editor-in-chief. Again, that's the blackwallstreettimes.com. That's a really great place to see what's happening in Tulsa, some progressive ideas, and maybe reporting on what's not going well, things like that.
Speaking of things that might be going well or not going well, how is, because one of the things I referenced in our rally that we had here in Durham on Friday was that there was a lot of unity across boundaries. So how is that? Have you been able to see a good connection between the different folks that are fighting? They might be from different parts of different platforms, so like the folks in the LGBT community organizing with the straight and the
We
church
have a lot of
community.
coalitions. We have a lot of coalitions because if they come for one of us, they're going to come for all of us. That's our motto.
Right.
No matter what aspect you are in the activism world, as far as Tulsa, they come for one of us, they're going to come for you too. So we back each other up. Even if we have differences on what another person might believe, we're there for you so you do not get harmed. So I'm very pleased to see that.
Yeah, that's very good because that's actually what we saw even here in Durham. Like I said, I know for a fact that there were people there that were, there's probably Solomon. There were people there that were like activists that were from the Bernie camp as well as the Hillary camp. There were people there that were from the LGBT community, but there were also people there from like some of the more conservative churches and everything. So, and there was definitely black, white, brown, and red, and so all of the people were there of different nationalities, different orientations, and when they just heard that the Klan was coming, there was like a big rally around. I think it was the wonders of social media because most of the word came through social media, and even as this rumor that they were coming to town was happening, that just brought a whole massive amount of people into our downtown Durham area, as if to say, not on our watch.
Not in my city. Yeah.
Exactly. So that was
well,
very
thank
positive.
You for having me on. It sounds like you got another caller coming in.
I do appreciate it. I appreciate it.
And we look forward to you coming back and keep on listening to the voice of the people. We greatly appreciate you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Mr. Solomon Burnett.
Yes, sir.